Yo, hey everyone, this is Derrick Broze with the Conscious Resistance Network, and today is April 28th, 2020, and I'm doing a short live broadcast right now for Conscious Resistance Facebook page, for the Derrick Broze Facebook page, and for the Conscious Resistance YouTube. It looks like we're live. Cool. We are live. We got some comments. All right, guys, I'm going to give this a moment for people to jump in and join the conversation for anybody who might want to. This is not going to be a super, I guess, important maybe to some of you. It's not about Jeffrey Epstein or the coronavirus, or it's not about the finders. It's not about pedophilia. It's not about any of those things, but it is an exciting announcement for me, and I think it's an exciting announcement for those who care about liberty, freedom, truth, justice, expanding our spiritual world, empowering ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, holistically. For those who care about the message of holistic anarchism, check it out, holistic anarchism. Which is a philosophy I've been promoting for the last few years, and even before that when I didn't have a name for it. So yeah, it's a new announcement, and I guess we'll go ahead and I will quit delaying. Now we got some people gathered, and I will go ahead and we will talk about this announcement. So to do that, I want to share our website. By now you guys have heard me say this how many times? Bookmark theconsciousresistance.com right here, theconsciousresistance.com. This is a website. You can get all my content. Everything that I do, everything that I've been doing since 2012 is on here. Articles I've written, essays I've written, books I've written, documentaries I produced, podcasts I did, interviews I recorded, speaking tours I did. Even some of my music I think is on here. And of course, Freedom Cells. And as I just mentioned, the Holistic Anarchism shirts, just by the way, while I'm talking and you guys are listening, we do have shirts available on here. I've had a few orders coming through since I'm in Mexico. Things have been up in the air, but I think we're about to have it back good to go. We're going to have a buddy of mine, a volunteer. I asked for some volunteers, and we're getting some volunteers. Is going to help run the shirt store while I'm out of the country and get some of those orders shipped out. So if anybody wants a Holistic Anarchism shirt or You Are Powerful, You Are Beautiful, You Are Free shirt, get in touch. All right. Guys, in 2015, 5 years ago, actually 5 years ago this month, might even be 5 years ago this weekend, I released my very first book. I never intended to write a book or thought I would write a book, but I released this book with John Vibes, who is my writing partner. The first book was called Reflections on Anarchy and Spirituality, The Conscious Resistance. And we put this book out there because this was out in 2015. When I started waking up 2010, all the way up till 2012, when I started the Conscious Resistance, there weren't many people talking about the intersection between freedom, anarchism, some would say libertarianism, voluntarism, and spirituality. Now, I'm not talking about dogmatic religion. I just mean the exploration of these two merging worlds. And if you understand my work, and if you followed for a while, you guys know that the Conscious Resistance, that's exactly what we're about. It's the realization, the recognition, the awareness that the struggle for a more free, ethical, and just world is not going to come from simply just fighting against the state or exposing the corporations, but it also involves us working on our own internal tyrant, our deep-seated doubts, fears, and insecurities, which we need to heal if we're ever going to make a better world. And so the struggle for a better world, what I call the Conscious Resistance, is a struggle against external tyrants in government and corporations and in media and just tyrannical people in our lives. But it's also a struggle against our own internal tyrant, which is our doubts, fears, insecurities, etc. So you can see here, the first edition of the Conscious Resistance was officially released on April 12, 2015. So about 2 weeks ago, 5 years ago. And that's pretty awesome because still to this date, I don't think there's any other book that explores spirituality and anarchism. And you can see we have a chapter list here. And then the following year, John and I decided to write another book. We decided, you know what, the Conscious Resistance, it's not done. It needs to be a trilogy. So where this first book is the body of the book that explains our thoughts on like meditation, what we call explorative agnosticism, panarchism, the inner child, consciousness and rights applies to animal, plant, and earth. We talk about this idea of are we all one? We talk about the intersection of shamanism and anarchism, Christianity and anarchism, Islam and anarchism, Buddhism and anarchism, and Taoism and anarchism. And that's like the body. We touch on a lot of big topics: anarchism, meditation, psychedelics, self-healing, etc. The second book is the heart. We call it Finding Freedom in an Age of Confusion. And it was also released April 15th, 2016. So the following year, we released this book. And this one is more about essays, about self-empowerment, about uplifting, kind of exciting things. And really what we did here is the first few essays are about you, yourself, your personal relationship. Then it expands to your family and friends, your relationship with the world at large. And then it just gets wider and wider. And we look at different things there. Then the second half, we talk about 8 ways to change society without politics. What is meditation? How do I meditate? What is nonviolent communication? And then what are positive affirmations, manifestation, and creative visualization, and some of these concepts. So we explore that. That is what we consider to be the heart. Then the following year, April 2017, we released our third and final book in the Conscious Resistance trilogy, which I am most proud of, and I think still is an amazing read that I hope you guys, by the way, guys, all the books I'm covering here, and I'm getting to the announcement, don't worry. These are all downloadable for free. You can buy them on Amazon if you want, or other places, but you can also just download them for free if you haven't yet read them. Manifesto of the Free Humans is the final book in the trilogy, and where the other two are the body right here, the heart, finding freedom in an age of confusion. Manifesto of the Free Humans is what we call the mind. So you have body, heart, and mind. This goes more into this very specific vision on intentional communities, on anarchism, agorism, so you see it's broken down into 3 parts: a strategy for defeating the state. We explain the concept of what we believe in. Our vision of a stateless society. We sort of describe different problems in the world. How do we take care of public services? How would we take care of the environment? How both the right and left are authoritarian in different ways. We talk about panarchism, for those of you who've heard of panarchism. We talk about borders, immigration, and all that. And the final part, conscious agora, creating conscious agoras, is the vision that I've had since this year, since 2017 when we released this, 2016 when we wrote it, that describes the community that I'm now out here building in Mexico. And it was in this book when I first said I plan to build this by 2020. And here we are in 2020, and it's coming to fruition. So those 3 books, Reflections on Anarchy and Spirituality, Finding Freedom in an Age of Confusion, Manifesto of the Free Humans, those are 3 books that John and I wrote together. Those were the first couple of books I wrote, and I've written 2 more since then. I've actually released 1 book here, so that's pretty cool. I'm proud of that. But that was then. What are we doing now? What's the announcement about? The announcement is that we now have made a deal with a publisher who I don't know if I should even say who it is yet, because it's not like most of you guys are going to know. But I had somebody reach out to me because he found my work on James Corbett, my friend James Corbett of the Corbett Report, and said that he wanted to work on publishing my books. And so we've been communicating for the last couple of weeks, the last month or so. And yeah, it was a conversation about, can we take your books and work with them in some way? We want to publish you in some way. So I told him that John and I had been discussing taking the trilogy and re-releasing it in a new package, adding new chapters to it, making it all one book instead of 3 separate books. It'll still be 3 separate books, but it'll be contained in one package. This was our vision we had, and since this year is the 5th anniversary since the first release, we are already kind of planning on doing this. Now we have made an agreement with these publishers that are going to be publishing and distributing and translating our books. So our entire trilogy is going to be re-released later this year, simply under the title The Conscious Resistance. We're going to add new chapters to each book. We're going to add new essays. We're going to add notes to tell you guys maybe where our thoughts have evolved and expanded in different ways. And let me check the email. So they're going to release the revised, updated version of The Conscious Resistance. It'll be available in English, French, and Spanish. So I'm very excited about that, because over the years, different people have reached out and offered to volunteer to translate the books, and it just hasn't happened yet, and that's fine. But now it's going to happen. So I'm excited about that. Also, it's not only the trilogy. For those of you who have seen my most recent book, let me screen real quick. And yeah, thank you guys for the support. It's only happening because of you guys and the people supporting all my work. I'm getting more and more support in different directions, and that's helping people find my work. And then they offer their help, and they want to help us expand. I have another exciting announcement once we get through this. So also my most recent book, which we just released January 31st, 2020. And some of you had recently read it, and it's also become extremely relevant to everything we're dealing with now that the technocratic state is rolling out in response to COVID-19. This book is strategy. The first 2 parts are my original writing. The third part is written by Samuel Edward Konkin III, who is the founder of agorism, which is the philosophy that I promote and believe and try to live and have been immensely inspired by. So I was able to publish his never before released book as part of my book and hopefully introduce new people to him. But the first two chapters are just the first two parts are just 8 chapters, 8 essays from me that break down what we're dealing with, what we're facing, and ideas for how we can overcome this situation, including freedom cells, the counter-economic Underground Railroad, and many more things. So they're going to republish this. I'm going to actually add a couple new essays, even though it's just been released recently. We're going to re-release it with some new material that I've already thought of since all this stuff has started. I'm going to talk about, how to escape thermal drones and temperature gauges and just everything we're dealing with now. Now that it's real, it's not some far off situation. We're going to do an updated version, post-COVID version, I guess you could say, that will dive deep. And they are going to also translate that into French and probably Spanish as well. So I'm excited about that. So as soon as I get to that, we're definitely for sure going to translate it into French and probably Spanish. And then we're going to talk about getting me to do an updated version pretty soon and then re-releasing that. But for certain, we are going to be re-releasing the Conscious Resistance Trilogy, Reflections on Anarchy and Spirituality, Finding Freedom in an Age of Confusion, and Manifesto of the Free Humans, published, available in bookstores probably all around you, so you guys can get them easier and so you can help spread the word if you appreciate the things that I've written. Because, guys, I do a lot of YouTube and Facebook videos, but I'm a writer more than anything. I love to write. I love to write books. I love to write essays. I like to write documentaries. This is where I thrive. It takes a lot more time. I'm working on a really in-depth article right now that, hopefully I get to share in a few days or so. That's what I love to do. And so when you share my written word, whether that's an article or a book or even the script of a documentary, that means, honestly, it means more to me than a video. Videos are a great format to get some ideas out, but there's something very powerful about the written word. And I'm thankful that I've been able to craft this life where I get to write for a living and, and be happy while I'm doing it. Also, by the way, we do have audiobooks of all of my books that I just mentioned. Even my other book, I didn't go over, the Holistic Self-Assessment. They're available on YouTube and on BitChute. Somebody recently has been working with me. We're talking about making a Spotify account for the Conscious Resistance so you guys can find some of my videos and probably the audiobooks available, because it's just me reading it. Some of them don't sound that perfect or anything. It's just me trying to make them available. This is all mostly a one-man show. It's a growing team. But again, I couldn't do this without you guys. I really, really, really appreciate you guys and all the support over the years, because like I said, the first book came out in 2015. I know some of you have never heard of me till this year, just the last couple months, and that's great. But some of you have been following since I wrote this first book or since before I even wrote these books, and that's awesome. I appreciate that. I have, just released the How to Opt Out of the Technocratic State. I have at least 3 more books in my head that I'm excited to share with you guys, and so I'll tell you guys more about that in the coming, as it gets closer. One of them is going to be finally writing my autobiography, I guess you could say, or my story so far. It'll be 15 years since I got released out of prison in October this year. It'll be 15 years, and so I want to write something to share that story with you about my depression, my drug addiction, my time in prison, all my crazy events that I went through in my teenagers and early 20s up till now, and just share that story. So that's one of the next books I'll be doing. I'm also going to write a fiction version of The Conscious Resistance, which is going to be a 3-part trilogy fiction about basically these ideas, put it into a fiction story, young adult novel, like Hunger Tales or something, and try to reach Hunger Games, and try to reach more people and just wake people up through fiction. I've never written fiction, so that'll be kind of exciting. And then I also am going to write a biography on Samuel Konkin III, who again is the guy who founded agorism and inspired me in so many ways. And after that, I have no idea. But I'm trying to release a book a year until I run out of ideas. So I appreciate everybody who has helped me get this far. Again, the first book came out in 2015. 2016 was Finding Freedom in an Age of Confusion. 2017 was Manifesto of the Free Humans. And then 2018, let me show you this one. 2018 was my other book, The Holistic Self-Assessment. And there's been no talks of publishing this one, even though I think this one is the most mainstream out of all the books. And I think if I can get this publisher to eventually publish that one too, well, then we are going to be in a really good place, and we will be able to reach a lot of people, because it doesn't say anything about anarchism. It doesn't say anything about politics. It doesn't say anything about activism. It's just all about doing this self-assessment, understanding your doubts, your fears and insecurities, looking at your own life and understanding where your actions are not in alignment with your state goals. You say you're an anarchist, maybe you say you want to be a permaculture farmer or off-grid farmer, but then you look at your actions and your habits and your relationships, and they're totally out of line with what you believe. This is a simple workbook. It was edited by my friend Carrie Wedler, and the foreword written by Sterling Lujan. Some of you know them, and help you get your shit together. The holistic self-assessment, that one's also available. So I've released a book a year now for the last 5 years, including this year. We'll get another one out. And yeah, so I'm excited about that. The other thing I want to tell you guys, this is, and then I'll wrap this up because this is just meant to be a short announcement. I'm already talking for 15 minutes. So brand new publisher, like, okay, for one, the reason I'm doing this, guys, is because I have trouble letting myself celebrate sometimes. I'm not really good at that. And I'm trying to get better at this. I'm trying to get better at just allowing myself to feel joy. It's not that I don't necessarily want to be happy. I've struggled with being happy a lot in my life, so I think I have a weird relationship with it. But it's like, maybe part of me is just like, oh, if I celebrate this too soon, or if I feel it too much, then it'll go away. You know, it's kind of like, I don't know, some superstition in my head maybe. But I'm thankful. I'm happy. This felt good to get the news. I'm thankful, and I'm happy for my friend John Vibes, because John Vibes, who co-wrote these books with me, he also has a recent book, which is his story so far. It's called Paper Squares and Purple Stars, My Life as a Rave Outlaw, which is a really interesting book. And they're also going to translate his book as well. So, I mean, it's just a great, awesome, freaking amazing thing. We spent hours writing these books together. John and I went to, when we met in the flu, where Maryland, lives out in the woods, you know, in a cabin, literally in a cabin in the woods. And it was middle of winter, 2016, I think December. And we just sat there for 7 days. I had a trip to in Maryland with him for 7 days. And we literally just wrote for 10 or 11 hours a day. And by the end of it, the book was written. It was amazing. So John and I have this awesome relationship that we can work together. And I'm really thankful for him. John, you kick ass, brother. So I'm happy for you as well. So yeah, I'm doing this so I can take a moment to be thankful, really. And so that's cool, you know, for whatever it's worth. I'm not in this to be a YouTuber or a YouTube star or anything like that. And I want us to get 100,000. But for me, all those numbers represent getting more and more people to wake up. Of course, we know we're battling censorship on Facebook and YouTube. You guys know that my vitamin C video got taken down just recently, my interview with Dr. Richard Cheng. You know, coincidentally, vitamin C gets taken down. Places get raided for giving out vitamin C. But then all these truther doctors that are popping up saying all kinds of wild claims, nobody's taking them down. Just a thought. But yeah, we passed 50,000 subscribers, and that's fucking cool, man. I've been doing this since 2012. It's been a slow build. There's a lot of channels that grow a lot faster than mine, but I think that I have consistently put out good work, and I'm proud of the things I've done in the documentaries and the interviews and all the reports. Like I said, I love writing, but I also do, like, you know, part of my journalism is interviewing people, and part of my journalism is doing reports. Again, I don't just see me as some YouTuber. I try to stand by certain principles, journalistic principles, and actually give a shit about being as objective as possible and still expressing my opinion, because there's nothing wrong with having an opinion. I just make sure it's clear, and I also make sure you guys know when I'm speculating or when I'm going out to something that I can't quite prove that I might believe. So yeah, I believe because of that, the channel has consistently grown, and that there are people who have much bigger followings and much bigger channels than mine who are very supportive of me and who bring me on their shows. And that's how a lot of you guys have got to hear me. The Corbett Report, No More News, The Last American Vagabond. A lot of different shows have brought me on over the years. I'm supposed to be on the Higher Side Chats at some point soon, and even smaller shows. Just, you know, everybody collaborating together in the independent alternative media, the people who actually give a shit about truth, collaborating together, building each other up. That's what's allowed me to keep doing this. And because of all the support, this is how I make a living. I write articles for a living. You know, I do live streams in different forms of journalism, and people hire me. I'm a freelancer. Nobody owns me. I work for whoever I want, when I want. I set my own schedule, and I only write about and I only do videos on the things that I care about. Nobody gets to tell me what to do, what to write about, what to report about, and that's the way it should be. So I'm thankful for that. And because of you guys, we got it to 50,000 subscribers. So fuck yeah. We got a book publisher translating books. That's awesome. That's coming like by the summer probably. We got 50,000 subscribers. And guys, I can tell you this as of today. I haven't checked the numbers in the last 30 minutes, but from what I can see, as of today, our website, theconsciousresistance.com, just passed 100,000 unique visitors visitors to the website this month, and the month still has a couple days, and this is our first time doing that. So that's pretty cool too. Again, there's people with a lot more traffic, but we're getting organic traffic. We're getting, I don't pay any ads. I don't do any Facebook ads, any other monetization, any other marketing. This is all organic growth. So 100,000 unique views this month on our website. This is our third record breaking traffic month, starting in February. January was actually a little low, and then February, when the documentary came out, the 5G Trojan Horse, we got a huge spike from people paying attention. March, even higher, and here we are now, coming to the end of April, we're hitting 100,000 unique visitors on the website. And it's, again, all because of you, because you guys help my work get out there and you share it. And a lot of you also talk shit and drive me crazy too, and that's all part of it too. I'm trying to get better at not getting sucked into all that, but it's all a part of this whole adventure of waking people up. But I just wanted to say, yeah, these are some good things going on. There's even other announcements that I can't tell you about yet because I don't want to jinx it, and because they're not certain yet. So there are at least two more big things in the background that are working out. And if they do, then you probably will see my face in some places you haven't seen it before. And if they do work out, we'll probably be able to get some funding and be able to do bigger things and instead of me writing for anybody else, although I'm thankful for all the other people I can write for, all I want to do is work on the conscious resistance. I want to write my articles for my website instead of giving those away to other websites. I want to hire more content creators and pay the people who are already contributing. And I want to do this in a way that actually matches, again, holistically, that actually matches the things we believe in. I don't want to take fucking Google ads money. I don't want to take YouTube money. I want to do it right. And I've stayed consistent about that for going on 10 years now. And it was a struggle for a long time. I was very poor in the beginning of my activism because I was so dedicated to this and nothing else mattered, but it was worth it. And all of it's been worth it to be here and to talk with you guys today and just to take a moment to be like, fuck yeah, cool things are happening. And I'm excited about that. So yeah, thank you guys for all the support and for all the ways that you guys help me out with staying sane during all these crazy times, and for listening to my interviews and to the essays and the things I write, because guys, it sometimes can be very frustrating to feel like, nobody's paying attention. That we're almost to the 2-year anniversary this October when the independent media was purged, when over 500 pages were deleted off Facebook, YouTube accounts were deleted, Twitter accounts. It was not the beginning, but it was definitely a big day. This was only a few months after Facebook announced their partnership with the Atlantic Council, which is tied to NATO. And I've done reports and talked all about this. My point is, guys, it's been a year and a half since they deleted the anti-media, the Free Thought Project, a lot of huge pages that were doing good work, that were reaching hundreds of thousands of people a day. And even the pages that still exist, like the Mind Unleashed with 9 million Facebook followers, can only get a small percentage of that. People who have huge followings on YouTube are only getting a fraction of what they used to. This is the real shit. This is the soft censorship of the internet. Maybe it won't get much worse because they don't want to be too blatant and too hard, but it's happening, guys. And so every person we can get to think and question and not believe in a savior, not believe in a politician, not believe in anything other than themselves and the power of their own hands and their own heart in the community that they live in, and all of us coming together. Any ability we can do to get that, whether that's through an essay, an article, an interview, a podcast, a live stream, whatever it may be, it's important. So I appreciate every single one of you who realize that this really is an information war. That's one thing that Alex Jones had right. This truly is an information war at this stage. And we have to pull as many people, as many minds out of the matrix as possible if we are ever going to change things. That is why I write these books. That is why I produce these documentaries. That's why I take the time to do these interviews with people, and just to make this my job, because I care enough, not because I'm just trying to live off whatever. Like, this is all I give a shit about. This is all that seems to matter. And I want to continue to do. So please, let's work together. Let's keep coming together and waking people up however we can. If any of my content that I've done in the last 10 years or the last 8 years on this website appeals to you, and there's a bunch of it, go back and look over the years, find something, search a topic, and you'll find something you're interested in, and see what I've had to say about that. If it appeals to you, download it, rip it, steal it, upload it elsewhere, share it with friends, do whatever. I don't care. Take my books, download them, take out 3 sentences and call it your own. As long as it makes people question the systems that we have in front of us and get people to start thinking in new ways and challenging these systems, then I don't care. I have no ownership over these ideas, over this content. Do what you can to spread it as far and wide as possible, because that's what we need to do right now, more than ever. Now. While people are at home, do it now. Do it now. Now. Now's the time, guys. Thank you so much for listening. This is Derrick Broze of the Conscious Resistance. Until next time, remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free. Peace.